About 75%.
All right, good evening. I'm going to open the meeting of the May 30th Wakefield Conservation Commission. This is strictly a discussion on DEP 313620, 100 Hemlock Road, Northeast Metro Regional Vocational School. We started the discussion last Tuesday. We'll continue it tonight, and I will say we have a hard stop at 9. We will be kicked out of here at 9 o'clock. We'll do our best to get through everything we have left, and we'll be picking up where we left off. So first thing first, roll call. We have Peter, Jim.
Yeah.
Ken. Haley. Myself, absent are Teresa and Paul.
Teresa here? Online?
She's in Alaska, right?
No, but she said she was gonna try to participate online.
Yeah, it didn't sound super.
Just wanna make sure that we're not.
Yeah, hang on, I'm looking. No. So absent are Paul and Teresa. We have Judy. I'm not seeing Judy. Let me see if Judy's joining.
Good to see you.
Nobody heard from Judy that she wouldn't be joining us, correct?
I haven't heard from
I
her.
just sent her a message. I mean, she can always grab the recording.
Hmm?
She can always grab the recording for the minutes.
Yeah,
How many participants by?
I should have had Elaine come.
Oh,
She's,
all right. She thought it was at 7. She's jumping on now. All right. We're gonna give it a minute for somebody else to join us. Okay, Judy is on. All right, we did already open the meeting and took roll call. We're gonna pick up where we left off last week. And we left off finishing our discussion of wetland 3. I believe the last thing we were talking about.
Really?
I believe the last thing we were talking about was is invasive species management and earth canopy removal. I don't know if we ever finished that discussion or not. We did talk about there are cases where maybe you take out the brush but leave the trees. It's not something we have to figure out right now, but I think that is where we left off. All right, next up is wetland 4.
So wetland, okay. So wetland 3, can we just review the bidding? Because I just.
Yeah,
I
so-
sort of,
So wetland 3 had a couple of things going on. The stream crossing
that's right.
was at wetland 3. And we
Right.
talked about optimum stream crossing standards. We talked about bank. We talked about the height of the culvert. And we talked about possible mitigation. Could a bridge be put in or not?
Okay. Did we talk about the canopy?
I don't remember, but we can certainly talk about that.
Okay, because that's one I think where there's very little. Can we just go over how the extent of the, I'd just like to go over the extent of the buffer zone. That's. Thanks, Haley.
I remember 3 had that small orange jurisdictional 3A right next to it.
Where'd it go?
While you find that, I'm gonna grab something out.
Okay.
Yeah. Wetland 3.
see them. Shouldn't have been in that last one.
No, that last one was not.
Is that it right there? Okay, yeah, 3 and 3A,
I just want to see wetland 3.
Wetlands, right, so you could see it on either one of the drawings, couldn't you?
that's it right there, right? Where is it? Oh,
Building.
oh, I was looking off in the corner.
I mean, that's showing, you-
I've got a mini version over here.
Yeah, just give me the page number.
It's not the same set. This is the driveway and staking plan.
The 3 is the, here it is, right here, if you want to come around.
3A.
So we have a portion of it touches, the wetland line touches, at one point, it just touches on the, so then there's less than 25 feet. What is, how do you know where 25 feet is? I'm just trying to,
Yeah, the scale is a 20 scale.
We don't have that, little bubble figure from the LEC with the.
oh, this is.
Yeah, I've got
Yeah.
this one.
Like, these ones that she was looking at,
Oh, I don't have those.
I have an old version, I don't. not-
Actually, you know what?
20 scale.
Okay, 1 inch equals 20 feet, okay, got it. Yeah, so the wetland is. So there's less than, there's a considerable piece of it that has less than that's less than 25 feet. And then, of course, then that doesn't, and then there's the stream. And then it's again, I'm harping on this, but it's the southern edge of the, wetland where all the if this is the limit of work line, they're gonna take out all the trees. I mean, I think there's not a lot of opportunity to replicate. I mean, to put to have canopy here on this, almost the entire southern edge of this. Because this is less than 25 feet for the limit of work. Yeah, this is 1 inch is 20. This is less than 20. All right, I just wanted to make sure that this. And then here, there's not gonna be, well, the road's gonna be here, so. Okay. Does anyone else have anything to, we did, and we also determined that the blasting is not very close. I mean, the proximity to the blast area, we find that, but.
Let's see on that one.
It's not as facile with the,
Yeah, I'm not sure what the grades are. I don't have those. Existing and proposed right in that area. Actually, it's going over the stream. So if anything, they'd be building it up, I would think. Jim, do you see existing and proposed grades for stream crossing area on that? I'm not sure about the blasting in that area.
One 145 at the road.
Oh, yeah, 145 goes up to 147.
153.
Yeah,
Is that the existing or the proposed?
Well, I'm looking at it looks like it's not a dark contour, so I think it's an existing contour.
yeah, that's where the steep slope on the side is. I see riprap. And these are 1 foot contours, I think. These are 2 foot here, 1 foot here.
So you're trying to figure out if they can get the right height?
Yeah. That was Peter's question.
So what is the, Jim, what is the height of the road relative to the wetland?
Existing path or the new road?
Where is the,
Pardon me?
where is the exact crossing here? Because I don't see it. That's the big one, right?
Mm-hmm. That's across there.
So we're talking at
147 and a half
Yeah, all right.
is proposed
147 and a half.
road. Existing wetland 139 plus.
139 is the wetland, and what is the road?
At the crossing, 147 and a half.
Yeah,
Okay, so there's a steep drop between the road and the, down to the wetland.
Well, there's riprap, and then some areas it's more of a gradual slope. Some areas it's not a complete drop.
Is the entire road draining to the south, or does it drain? I guess what I'm getting at is water going downhill
Right.
from the road into the wetland.
Well, there's a curve.
What?
Water's gonna be going to these catch basins, which goes to that, which goes down to the
Okay,
trees.
so that catch basin is directly
There's no,
responsive.
there's no discharge to this wetland.
Got it.
There's no spread. This is this discharge coming from here,
Mm-hmm.
but all of this road, probably from here down, goes downhill, gets captured there, and keeps going over, goes
Got it.
along the road.
That's helpful to know. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, the road starts about 156 up at the top. And then it ends 132-ish, 131.
Interesting with that. Yeah.
And then it goes back up 132, 133, 134. So the low point is right across from wetland 1 at 131. It does go up a bit, 3 feet up towards Farm Street. All right, anything else about wetland 3?
I haven't got that for.
Those aren't related. It's just to give the stations and wetlands. All right, so while you guys are looking at that or thinking about that, I will just reiterate the preamble for a BVW, since this will be coming up as we move on. Bordering vegetated wetlands are likely to be significant to public or private water supply, to groundwater supply, to flood control, to storm damage prevention, to prevention of pollution, to the protection of fisheries, and to wildlife habitat. Plants and soils of bordering vegetated wetlands remove or detain sediments, nutrients, such as nitrogen and phosphorus, and toxins, such as heavy metal compounds that occur in runoff and floodwaters. So specific note there about the plants and soils in BVW. Some nutrients and toxic substances are detained for years in plant root systems or in soils. Others are held by plants during the growing season and released as the plants decay in the fall and winter. The later phenomenon delays the impact of nutrients and toxins until the cold weather period, when such impacts are likely to reduce water quality. BVWs are areas where groundwater discharges to the surface and where under some circumstances, surface water discharges to groundwater. The diffusion of BVW acts to slow down and reduce the passage of floodwaters during periods of peak flows by providing temporary floodwater storage and facilitating water removal through evaporation and transpiration. This process reduces downstream flood crests and resulting damage to private and public property. During drying periods, the water retained to BVWs is essential to the maintenance of base flow levels in rivers and streams, which in turn is important to the protection of water quality and supplies.
Looking at for the, I was trying to answer my own question. So this is the,
All the others on the road.
that's the, this is the, so it's It's not really, the blasting is not really this area here. It's just barely touching buffer to that wetland. That's what I wanted to understand.
Continuing on to the preamble, the presence of water at or near ground surface during a significant portion of the year supports and in fact promotes the growth of wetland indicator plants. Prolonged or frequent saturation or inundation also produces hydric soils and creates anaerobic conditions that favor the growth of wetland indicator plants. Hydric soils are direct indicators of long-term hydrological conditions and are present throughout the year. Wetland vegetation supports a wide variety of insects, reptiles, amphibians, small mammals, and birds, which are a source of food for important game fish. So that again is the preamble for BVW. All right, any further questions or comments about wetland 3 at this time? No? Jim, you got anything?
I'm still looking.
No?
So just refresh my memory, what was the reason why we had to go from a box or a three-sided culvert to a bridge?
So the Mass Stream Crossing Standards,
It's because of the quality of the there was a word.
optimum standards for stream crossings.
Because of the
It was the classification of
Doesn't
the area.
say-
the classification of it. It triggered you to try to do the optimum rather than,
Okay, so we're up to like a higher level,
because of the designation.
okay.
Yeah, habitat of potential regional or statewide importance. Map indicates the undeveloped area is a habitat of potential regional or statewide importance. Is also designated on the biomap as critical landscape and core habitat. Since the area shown on both maps is considered an area of statewide or regional significance and thus should meet the optimum standards for stream crossings. Optimum stream crossing does say the type of crossing, use a bridge.
So it says should, it doesn't say it has to be, it says it should.
These don't say use a bridge. Gotta find the stream crossing standards.
I've got this one printed if you want it. Blurb is basically the choice for a crossing design will depend in part on whether a stream has statewide or regional significance for landscape level connectedness or provides critical habitat for rare or endangered species. The biomap identifies areas for biodiversity conservation, allows local groups to proactively identify conservation projects within their jurisdiction. So it's significant because it's critical habitat for species that are on the mass site for.
So what is the regulation that talks about that optimum standards? What is that? I'd like to read it. Regs.
What was the question again, Peter?
Bob asked a question about the specific language that says that the optimum standards, whether they must be used or shall be used, or whether the optimum standards say there should be a bridge versus shall be a bridge.
All right, so the choice for crossing design will depend in part on whether a stream is statewide or regional significance, just like Haley said. The biomap identifies areas for biodiversity conservation, allows for local groups to proactively identify conservation targets within their jurisdiction. Yeah, I don't have the actual, I just have excerpts from the crossing standards. Maybe here it is.
There are no formal recognized criteria for classifying streams as warranting optimum standards.
May I look over your shoulder?
That's why I'm sitting next to you.
Matt, could you clarify that for us? Stream crossing?
Yeah, they're not a body of regulation. It's just a document that just defines the importance of stream crossing and all these things. And it makes that distinction between standard and optimum. But that's not baked into the regulation for stream crossings where you're looking at 1050, 10.54.
Right.
Not whether they want to use a bridge. Okay, well, just that's.
Comparison, general versus optimum, which we went over last week. The big one we talked about was use a bridge as optimum. But like Matt said, this is in the standards, like the reg doesn't require you to meet the standards, is that right?
Yeah, the way it reads,
What do the regs say about it?
work on a stream crossing shall be presumed
This is
to meet
more of a boil down.
Yeah, I
part
want
of
to
it.
see, I want to see it on.
Hey, let's have Matt read that.
at 1054-6.
Yeah. Yeah, got
No,
that.
I'm sorry,
Less
4A6. Work on stream crossing shall be presumed to meet the performance standards set forth in 1054-4A, provided the work is performed in compliance with the Mass Stream Crossing Standards.
Oh,
So if you meet the stream crossing standards, it's presumed to meet the performance standards. But you have to read through the performance standards with a non-stream crossing standard crossing and see whether or not those performance standards are met.
Says use, I'm just looking at this, it says standards, use a bridge unless there are compelling reasons why a culvert would provide greater environmental benefits. Only bridges should be used. Bridges are preferred over open bottom culverts because they can be installed with minimum impact to the stream channel and provide more headroom for wildlife.
So continuing on the bullet that Matt was reading, 10546. So, provided the work is performed in compliance with the Mass Stream Crossing Standards by consisting of a span or embedded culvert in which at minimum the bottom of a span structure or upper surface of a embedded culvert is above the elevation of the top of the bank, and the structure spans the channel width by a minimum of that 1.2 times the bankful width, the presumption is rebutable and may be overcome by the submittal of credible evidence from a competent source, blah, blah, blah. The impact on bank caused by the installation of a stream crossing is exempt from the requirement to perform a habitat evaluation. All right, that doesn't mean anything here. Yeah. I mean, the height's definitely an issue.
that's why I was wondering if we,
It needs to be a minimum of 8 feet.
5 to 7.
but that's for the
That's the optimum.
optimum standard.
But when you think about the wildlife going through there, potentially
Yeah, which is the goal.
deers and antlers and all that stuff. I get why they say minimum of 8 feet. Plus you have to have dry passing areas also, which makes sense.
Yeah.
which I believe they are proposing.
How would they do a bridge? Because if they did a bridge, they'd have exposed banks that would not have, be a dirt bank, right? But a three-sided a three-sided culvert would have concrete banks.
Yeah, but the culvert would have to be wide enough span to pick up bank and stream. Whereas a bridge spans over it,
Yeah,
so you're not impacting either one of those in any
Your point is
way.
the culvert provides the bank.
But it also
A
limits-
bridge has a natural bank.
Yeah, using the natural bank with the bridge, whereas a culvert, you're creating a wall.
Right.
right,
And it has to be the proper width
right,
to have dry bank inside it.
right. Okay, I would.
Again, that's why it's not optimal.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah, I'm not sure that you could condition a bridge.
Didn't we decide last week that they did have to meet optimum, just based on,
That's where we had left it. I'm not kind of sure why we're circling back.
because I asked the question, it said should, I thought that left some leeway to go to something else. Maybe it didn't mean you have to go, it might be a combination of the two things that make it work in that area. So, other than blank, this is the, done. Saying, well, if you did this and that, it might be okay. So, I don't think we can spend too much time on this.
Yeah, so Matt, could you clarify that again? So the regs don't require an optimum stream crossing, but the stream crossing standards do in this case.
No, said the presumption, if you meet optimum standards, you're presumed to meet performance standards.
Right.
Oh. Okay,
And if you don't meet optimum standards, then you're not presumed.
Right, and then you'd have to look at the regulations, the performance standards themselves. And see whether or not what's on the table for the proposal meets those standards.
So
How-
because it's not optimum right now, we need to
Do we know
compare
how-
what they're.
Do we know how wide that culvert?
Yeah, it was on that plan.
yeah, the dimensions are there.
But because they're not optimum, we need to look at what they're building and then compare it to the performance standards to see if it meets it, even if it's not optimum. And if we say it meets the standards, it doesn't have to be optimum, or we would say it doesn't meet the standards, it needs to be optimum. So the importance is looking at the standards to see if what they propose meets it, and not just write it off.
So can you look at that, Matt?
Well, here's the standards. Consisting of a span or embedded culvert in which at minimum, the bottom of a span structure or the upper surface of an embedded culvert is above the elevation of the top of bank.
Those are the stream crossing standards, is it before?
That's performance.
Oh, okay.
And the structure spans a channel width by a minimum 1.2 times a bank full width.
Where is that? What number is that?
10546. 10554A6. The work in the bank shall not impair the following: the physical stability of the bank, the water carrying capacity of the existing channel within the bank, groundwater and surface water quality, the capacity of the bank to provide breeding habitat, escape cover, and food for fisheries, the capacity of the bank to provide important wildlife habitat functions. And then right into 6 that Matt and I were both reciting.
Let's go through them one by one. Yes or no? Okay.
That, 1054, 4.
So I've got it right here. I can,
Find the features of the culvert itself.
I think in the back there's some detail sheets. You happen to know where my feet go?
No, I think it met the 1.2. Didn't we talk about it meeting that?
yeah,
I think Rebecca confirmed that it was bank full 1.2,
right.
I think.
I believe that's correct.
So that's covered.
Say, you said it's what?
The 1.2 times the bankful width. So the structure spans the channel width by a minimum of 1.2 times the bankful width. So I think, going through these performance standards, 5 and 6 are where we're kind of getting hung up here. One is the physical stability of the bank.
So you can't impair the fall.
Right. The physical stability of the bank, dropping a culvert in would not likely, impact that. The water carrying capacity of the existing channel within the bank, if it's sized properly, it should not have any impact there, which,
It's greater.
right. Groundwater and surface water quality, the culvert itself would not potentially impact that. The work to install it potentially could. Number 4 is the capacity of the bank to provide breeding habitat, escape cover, and food for fisheries.
Fisheries doesn't apply, right?
Yeah, breeding habitat, escape cover. It could be an argument with the escape cover with the height not being 8 feet,
How high is it?
5 to 7, not quite sure.
So it could be as low as 5.
Correct.
All right.
So that one's in question. Number 5 is the capacity of the bank to provide important wildlife habitat functions. So getting through the culvert could be an important habitat function, I guess. But 6 is really where we're kind of getting stuck. Again, work on a stream crossing shall be presumed to meet the performance standards set forth, providing the work is performed in compliance with the Mass Stream Crossing Standards.
That's a little bit of circular, isn't it?
By consisting of a span or embedded culvert.
So if it meets this, it meets this, but it meets this by meeting this.
Yeah, it's very circular.
But it provides in the next that sentence, it provides some points. Consisting of a span or embedded culvert, at a minimum, bottom of the span structure or upper surface of the embedded culvert is above the elevation of the top of the bank. Structure span the channel, minimum of 1.2 times bankful width.
Yeah, I mean, we went through this last time when we said that we did not feel it met the standard. That's how we left it.
All right.
All right, so let's move on. Keeping an eye on time, it's now 7:09.
Are any of these similar, Bob, where we can bolt them together
Yeah,
at the same time rather than individually?
well, the next one up is wetland 4, and that's non-jurisdictional. So not much to talk about. Isolated wetland located at the bottom of a depression with similar vegetative composition as the forested BVWs. There was some road fill proposed for that one, but again, it's non-jurisdictional. All right, wetland 5. Wetland 5 is the vernal pool. Is that, let's see, wait a minute.
Yes.
Wetland 6 is a certified vernal pool. Wetland 5 is the isolated land subject to flooding vernal pool. Not seeing it on this drawing.
I'm sorry, let's go back to that one. This is.
Oh,
Wetland five. That is wetland 5, so that's the vernal pool. Yes.
yeah. Oh, wait a minute.
Sounds like an important one to me.
All right, so wetland 5 is an isolated vegetated wetland characterized as scrub shrub that is seasonally flooded. Vegetation around the pool includes red maple, white pine, and high bush blueberry. The pool has an average depth of 18 inches and a maximum depth of 28. Egg masses of both spotted salamander and wood frog were observed by Oxbow Associates in 2021. 22 spotted salamander egg masses were observed attached to submerged branches of high bush blueberry. The egg masses were uniformly distributed along the pool edges, with none located in the deeper center. 5 wood frog egg masses, all attached to a single limb of high bush blueberry. This isolated wetland was certified as a vernal pool on March 28th, 2022.
So this one has a level spreader just north of it, right? Going along the northern limit of it. Drainage discharge into it.
Right, is that the most recent drawing? It shows
We go to C,
the level spreader moved.
C401.
C4, let me just put this here so we don't want to get back to that. Yeah. Right there.
Sorry, I'm looking at it.
Yeah, so the
Might be
level
looking at
spreader,
an older set
so that was moved like 50 to 75 feet.
per our comments, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
that is the roof discharge
And that's moved, that has been moved where?
there.
instead of,
to
yeah,
there.
Two there. It was over here previously. It was right there.
Yeah.
Instead, they made that wall and they shifted it over.
So this
To
wall,
address our concern.
this wall is, this wall just goes up to the road surface.
It's about a-
And there's a guardrail that goes above it.
there's about a 3-foot wall on top of the driveway and then a
I-
guardrail on top.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I think that wall is even,
no, it's 3 feet. I think it's, on
No, I
the
don't-
details it was shown.
I don't think so.
What's the, what's?
Now, we specifically,
That's why the guardrail is meant, if you had a single wall, you wouldn't need a guardrail on top of
But
the,
what's the point? So why is that in
I'm just making the point.
topic?
I'm making the point that the road, it's not like the wall that, you know, it's just the.
So you're just saying it's a road in a curve. It's not a physical
Right.
wall coming out.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's what I'm getting at, right.
okay.
It's not a wall that goes up to protect the wetland, I guess is what I'm
Right.
saying. It's a guardrail to protect the wetland,
Right.
I
The
know,
wall is only a 3 foot to go down to the,
to go down to
Right.
the, right,
Right.
that is exactly right.
you're saying the guardrail is at road elevation?
Yes.
No wall on top of it?
No, that's right.
You have
It's on
contours?
top of the
I
wall.
don't
All
know.
right, you got,
The contours are 166 at the wall.
okay, we got 1 foot or 2 foot contours.
1 for contours. It's right at a peak.
We asked the question during the thing.
We did, I was almost positive they said a 3-foot wall on top of the road with a
No,
guardrail on top.
No, the top of the road, the top of the wall is the road. That's why there's a guardrail.
6 right there.
I mean, if you had a,
I think we should.
if you had a 3-foot wall, you could have a guardrail on top of
I think there's
This
two
is the
different
road.
reasons.
Wall would already stop.
the wall is the guardrail, yeah, the wall is the guardrail, so. And Jim, did you make the comment that,
We're gonna find out.
what,
We're gonna look at the detail for you.
Yeah,
oh, wow, you know,
Bill.
all right.
Right there. Pain, aren't they?
Well, what you need is, she does it on her computer, puts it on the screen.
So just, can you remind me why it's important detail, just because there's the barrier to the,
I mean,
There's a driveway that comes down right, it's a T intersection, I think.
well, my first thought is 3-foot wall would potentially help with snow cascading over into the wetland.
okay.
If there is no wall, it's just a guardrail, when those plows go up and down that street,
Yeah,
that snow and everything in that snow is going right into the vernal pool.
yeah.
And I don't know if there's a curb.
So you would think there was a you would think there was a wall, and then the.
No.
The guy,
I remember the comment of a 3-foot wall, but I'm not sure if it was,
No,
yeah, level with the street, a guardrail on top, or,
That's kind of an odd detail for them to build a wall up top.
and to build a guardrail 3 feet high that starts 3 feet up in the air.
yeah.
Why would you do that?
You looking for the detail sheet,
I
Jimmy?
was looking for the details, here, but I'm not gonna spend too much time on it. And if I have the right detail. I'm done.
Where the road, what goes into it.
I'm trying to find that detail.
Could it be the road detail instead of landscape?
Yeah, these plans are funny, sometimes they're. Wanna look at it? Look.
We'll go to this original plan. See if there's any kind of color for it. See, any kind of detail on it, but yeah, probably not in the plan.
So it's right here. So this is referred to.
I don't know how it's identified. I can call back to the. Driveway layout. Do you know what station it is? Do you know how far down the road?
it's,
Find it?
I don't know if it was like stationing on this plan or not.
driveway layout.
It's between elevations 155 and 159 on the driveway, if you head up the driveway.
Yeah, right here.
The ledge here. No, this doesn't have the, grading, this doesn't have the, this doesn't talk about the wall. What is this? This is the, what is this right here? Parking lot?
Hi, this is Andrea Kendall. I just want to let the commission know that they're muted.
All right, sorry.
So if you look, Bob, at the, where's the, that wall? So you're saying that there is, what is this? Where's the, oh, the driveway goes out onto.
No, we're over here, this wetland. Sorry, wait a minute. This one, this is a certified vernal pool, right? So yeah, it's driveway, curbing.
So where's the driveway? Driveway's right here. And
Yeah.
then there's a driveway here that goes out onto this.
Right.
That's what Jim's concerned is that they're gonna just, you know,
Oh, yeah, either way, you're coming up, plowing over the edge.
it's a very difficult.
So there's no physical barrier other than a curb. And 3 foot drop down to where you are.
Right.
So, okay. So there's no added protection, but you're up close. The vertical is very close to the road. The spreader's removed away from it.
Right. Yeah, my concern is plows,
Plowing.
pushing everything over the edge right into the vernal
Extremely close to.
I mean, there's obviously,
So little buffer to that.
yeah, there's a danger in the construction process too, right? You're that close to the,
Well, that would go-
you're building right next to the wetland.
To protect the wetland, some of these questions that she had.
And this is, and then when we get to this, look at, I mean, if this is hard ledge, I mean, you're gonna be here for a month.
Are you saying that all this is
Yes.
showing
Ledge,
blast?
yes, that's a blast zone.
All right.
There's this piece of blast zone is on the road.
It's marked with the same symbol?
Yep, this is the one we were talking about last time, this is the blasting that was close to the wetland number one.
So you,
We've been pointing at L 402. L 402 calls out the top.
Sheet.
L4, okay.
The whole thing.
Ooh, top wall.
And should show the top.
And road is at, top wall's 167, what's the road at?
Top of wall 167, bottom of wall 166.5. Or TW, I assume that's
The
top.
wall is 167.
What are you looking for? Bottom right there, 166.5. The road contours are 166.5.
Is that a curb or is it a wall? I didn't hear what the height difference was.
Curb.
Oh, half a foot, okay. All right, and then there's guardrail on top of that.
Only plow going through.
Yeah, no, everything's gonna get pushed right over the edge,
And then one of the part is right up,
right against it.
which means that realistically it's more or less in it.
Yeah, everything coming up the street or going down, whichever way direction, they'll be coming up and plowing to that right. So everything you're bringing with you gonna get pushed over the edge, and whatever's in that snow is gonna go over the edge too.
The money is rather than just in construction.
Yeah,
Right up to it.
Yeah.
End up on it.
Ledge right to the right of it. All that on the plan. And the sewer line cuts right across there. The sewer line goes deeper into the utilities.
yeah, the road was, I think, moved away a bit.
This is wrong, sorry, that's not there anymore.
All right, so what, we want to figure out whether there's enough protection for them forward, right? Is that what we're trying to figure out?
Yeah, or how could it be mitigated?
I think they already made an attempt to mitigate moving the road and moving the spreader, right?
Yeah, it's
So
just,
the question is that enough?
So they moved
Mitigation.
the starting point for moving the road, the starting point for moving the road was the road was in the wetland.
Right, it was moved. I'm not saying that's
Was it
enough,
this one or was
I'm
it
just saying what
Right.
happened.
I thought it was 3 that. Because 5 is under the school site.
Yeah, the road was moved for wetland 3. Sure. This one I'm not sure.
actually, I've got an old drawing here from last fall.
But I think we gotta
And it,
figure out what you think that the mitigation they provide.
What as shown is protected.
looks like it's generally in the same spot as what it was originally for this, wetland.
Okay.
That one did move. Yeah, because this one was cutting right through the corner of it, but that's no longer the case. So yeah, what mitigation is possible here?
Well, what are the options? Raising the wall? Or would you say that's sufficient protection?
I mean, I'm not thinking it's sufficient as is.
And if you're talking about raising it higher, then how high, but also we want to extend it so that, I don't know, it would go right over that edge there instead of right there.
Right here. That's all driveway. Parking. Suggestions?
Suggestion?
Build a wall.
Raising.
You think that's a troublesome area with the snow just because it's so
So
close?
the proximity is, close. I mean, you gotta admit it's close.
Yeah, it's going over, the snow's going over the edge.
How much closer can you get it?
And everything in that snow is going over the edge.
Because
It
that's a
doesn't,
problem with other ones as well.
yeah.
Pretty dark.
Yeah, I mean, this one in particular though, because it is a vernal pool.
Right up on it and the grade goes down to it.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you can do short of, again, putting a wall on top of that, but that's really not,
Replacing the guardrail with the wall, as you're saying. And then Haley, your point being that that perhaps it needs to be extended.
You know, if anything, when they push the snow, if they push it to one side, I would say it might go right through the rails. Most of
through the rails and over the rails.
it, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's going over the edge.
yeah. It's gonna have to end up on the other side. It's gonna end up on a riprap area, right? It's all riprap on the other side.
A little bit of riprap, but I mean, you're very close to the pool. It's gonna make its way into the pool no matter what.
Well, that should be, in that point, shouldn't, we're past the, area that we're worried about, the salt, right?
This is very close to the school. This is like school parking lot area and stuff.
It'll be heavily used. It's gonna have to be cleared.
The cars are parked and the students
Mm-hmm.
the part that they were talking about, the roll was down the
Just
road.
down that way further.
Which it's already covered too, that like, yeah. So,
That's this if you want to.
I don't know, anybody have any thoughts or suggestions for mitigation besides a wall?
Well, it's on the northern end, so you could, you're not worried about light or anything. My point is only that you could, I'd be worried too. I mean, would there be a worry about just a front end loader? Just taking it and putting it right over the wall?
Yeah, that's always a possibility. Yeah.
I mean, this is just a very difficult, hugely difficult snow removal. If that's the part, getting out of a parking lot. My point would, I'd be worried. I mean, I guess my point would be, which would be a wall and, or a fence.
Where do they have the snow,
Storage areas,
storage area?
yeah, I have a copy of the, storage plan. Ken, you've got all the drawings, right?
Working on it right away.
I hate not having a computer with me.
Do you want one? I have one. I don't have that thing downloaded.
I've got all my links and files and shortcuts and quickly access all this stuff.
Okay, yeah. I don't have that. I have a computer, but I just don't have it.
Yeah.
Here's outlined in, so you could,
So that's 736, by the way.
what?
736.
Okay, well, this is I think these are the three most significant. 1, 3, and 5 are the big ones.
Yeah, 9 also is a interesting one.
Oh, okay. And I'd like to, before we go off this, I'd like to talk about the blasting and how whether it's even possible to condition it in a way that,
I mean, the aspects you could condition would be the no ammonium nitrate and no perchlorates, which they've agreed to, but,
they talk about these emulsions.
Right, and-
As being just junior varsity versions of the,
yeah, you don't really know what
Yeah.
will definitely be blasted versus O-rammed or chipped.
bulk emulsions injected into blasting holes typically consist of, I mean, this talks about this stuff is potentially extremely toxic to aquatic
Yeah.
organisms.
Right, just what everything is. TNT is also,
TNT, very toxic for aquatic organisms.
Yes.
Do not allow warning for the cast boosters reads, do not allow product to reach groundwater, water course, or sewage system, even in small quantities, toxic for aquatic organisms. And look at just the extent of what's going on right up to the wetland. I mean, this could be going, I just concerned about this could be going on for months. Literally right at the, I worry that the whole, that just putting in the road is just inevitably gonna kill the wetland. So, the organisms in the water pool.
yeah, we just have to tie
We're talking about
back. What are you guys talking about over there?
snow storage areas.
Yep,
I have the 112 stormwater report. I don't know if that's different. I have the snow storage area. So shows it in the medians, just northwest.
Right.
well, there were updates to the stormwater, but I don't know about any updates to the, snow
Snow
plan.
storage.
Yeah, I don't recall any
You
changes.
shouldn't be the snow storage? Oh, so those blue areas are yours.
You know what, there's so much flexibility in like how they plow and sometimes it changes the first storm, right?
Yeah, you never know where the landscapers are gonna push stuff or plow it. You know, you can condition it, but in practicality, there's really no control.
I mean, even if it's say X amount of feet away from something.
Yeah,
That's
I mean, you can put signs up, you can, all that, it just doesn't mean that they're gonna be followed. But in this case, in this particular area that we're talking about, I don't know what the options are, short of building a wall in front of that vernal pool.
We're really here to solve the problem.
Well, we gotta think about how would you mitigate, for a condition if needed. And if you can't, then you move on, but is there something that could be conditioned?
things that can be conditioned, I think would be different to, is a problem that's solvable, right?
Yeah, reasonable, solvable, yes.
I'd be more worried about the things that we can't fix, like the canopy's down, it's done.
Right, but we still got to tie that back to the impacts on the resource areas,
Okay,
which we have. We talked about canopy already, especially the thermal impacts and you know, that water uptake. We talked about all that. You know, large oak holding 100 gallons a day.
You can search.
You guys ready to move on? Anything else about?
Yeah, I just want to talk about the blasting.
do we want to talk about what's in fire? Isolated land subject to flooding, and then Matt can tell us.
This was not ILS. According to.
Wasn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not. Isolated land subject to flooding.
I think that your ORAD, that was non-jurisdictional,
Right,
Even though it had,
even though it was certified.
even though it was certified. So it was,
Certification isn't jurisdictional.
all right, thank you. I like that. Remember that. Okay,
you okay?
wow, yeah, I guess. Solve that problem.
Okay. Does that mean we're ready to move on?
Yeah, that's disappointing. I thought for sure that was. um,
All right,
That's a good starting point after this to talk about bylaws.
all right. So we're moving on to wetlands 6 and 7. We could take those two together since they're both on the other side of the breakout road. If you were to go through the gates, take a left, go into the beach, both those wetlands would be on your right-hand side. You know, I think everybody knows that area.
So they're
So,
on the other side, so there's the wetland, then there's the road. And
correct.
it's on the other side of the road, so it's not really that close to,
Yeah, you've got the school as it exists today.
right?
You've got the road that brings you to the beach. And the wetlands are on the other side of the road, like on
Right.
the breakout side, right? All right, so we're gonna take them both together. Wetlands 6 and 7. Characterized by wetlands associated with an intermittent stream which originates off-site to the east, flows westerly through a concrete head wall into a 48-inch, flows east and daylights into wetland 7. Steep slopes are located on the north and south side of both wetlands 6 and 7. The vegetation associated with the shrub on site typically includes red maple, willow, high bush blueberry, speckled alder, sweet pepper bush, elderberry, dogwood, arrowwood, and more. The undeveloped upland area is white pine, oak forest. A portion of the buffer zone includes an existing paved roadway, which we just talked about, and a portion of the existing school driveway around the parking. A certified vernal pool is located off-site upstream of wetland 6. So the work here for wetlands 6 and 7, both of which are jurisdictional BVWs, limited to the installation of a drain pipe and mini dry well with a beehive grate. I remember we talked about that. Crushed stone sump as well as small area of grading and riprap for the track. The limit of work is at the 25-foot buffer. The work within the buffer zone to wetland 7 is primarily limited to the installation of the track with associated grading and riprap, as well as one drain manhole and a portion of an underground drain pipe. The limit of work is approximately 30 feet from the BVW head wall. So about 30 feet away. Yeah, I mean, the work for both of these is on the other side of the road, the school side.
Been on existing pavement, right?
Yeah, yes, yeah, the track, the grading for the track. You know, a piece of that is in a buffer. But again, it's 30 feet away at the closest point. Actually, dry well might be 25.
Oh, does that cord reach me? Or something?
I don't think,
Yeah, it does. It's super
I
long.
don't know if it's one of those, the LEC buffer zone.
the maximum reach.
You go.
This one goes here, that's the very edge, that's 100 foot the edge of it. So this one, that, and that, and this is an existing pavements. Sorry, I don't, what else do I need to do?
You gotta share.
I have to share.
I think you have to share, yes.
Oh, I can't join Zoom.
Oh, wait a minute, you're connected directly. Hang on, hang on. Says sharing content. We're not
Can
connected.
they see it in on us?
Let me see.
Okay, now I'm always time.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right, don't worry.
Okay.
We got it over here. Yeah.
So about 2,500, for wetland 6, about 2,500 square feet of the buffer zone is within the limit of work. So about 1,200 square feet will change from impervious to pervious.
That's just riprap. It's, the stream.
But what, tell me what you just said.
About 1,200 square feet will change from impervious to pervious.
And where is that relative to?
For wetland 6. So existing paved parking lot area. Looks like, yeah, looks like it's changing. Need to see this one.
That's the beehive.
That's the beehive?
Yep. It's a 6-inch.
This is about 1,200 square feet will change from impervious to pervious, so we're losing some pavement.
Existing, right here, see that?
That's the existing break car road, isn't it?
Yep.
And here's the gate.
Yep.
So,
So
so right here, they're losing this, losing that strip. That's currently paved. Looks like. Yeah.
How far is the disturbance relative to the buffer?
That's treated though. Parking.
The yellow hatches.
Okay. Right, parking, no.
Where's the gate?
Gates would be right,
Right there. It's right there.
yep. So here's a road going that way, and here's the beach road.
You go left or straight?
Yeah, okay.
What is that feature meant to be, just a pure drainage? That, this feature right here?
Around the work area, so they can work is just inside.
To run up the drain line, but how are they treating this parking lot? It can-
How?
Yes, this was a dry well.
At the
Wait a minute, all of it, parking.
Put it on C4 of the drainage area. Drainage line.
Yeah, if you want. Yeah, 3.
I have C400. C602. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Oh, you got it. Okay, thanks. Appreciate you bringing that to my attention. Here's the,
Yeah. In a dry well.
See the trench,
Oh,
see
yeah.
that, and then you see a little dry, it's a 6-inch. and it takes you
So the guard's shack is where we,
right. Oh, the guard check is all the way up here,
way
Here.
down
on the other side of the thing.
Here's your gates, your gate right here too.
there, to get into Breakout,
Yeah,
yeah. Okay,
Yeah, the beach is right where your hand is, pretty much.
yeah, okay.
so except for this drain, everything else is pretty far, is pretty far away from the wetland, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's actually less pervious area with this. but
Right,
I
no.
guess my only concern is,
That was a real good update to put together because they show you every area.
Oh, it's great, I wish I was looking at it. Yeah, exactly.
all right, so what's actually happening here?
Yeah, they did, it's kind of visual.
I mean,
Was that just collecting runoff from the not actually taking a driveway?
yeah, I think you're right, because I'm seeing the catch basins here in the parking lot. going to a chamber system under driveway, so yes, I believe you are correct, 188, 585, 82. Yeah, so that looks like it's just runoff off the hill, going into the stone trench, and then through the 6-inch drain pipe, crossing under the road, inside brake cart, and then through that beehive device, so, yeah. I don't see any issues there. Any questions about 6, concerns?
No.
All right, 7. 7. All right, so 7. Eighty-three, 8,300 square feet of buffer zone within limit of work. No work located within 25 feet of BVW. Existing paved roadway to brake cart within 25 feet. 2,100 square feet of impervious area will be reduced. And again, that's because it's currently paved. That's the driveway that goes around current Oak. Okay, so the driveway's gone, essentially. And the track will be just planned north. So we get a reduction there of impervious.
I mean, everything is across a road, so it really is,
So she's,
Yeah, but what, so,
this is
wait, what
coming
is this?
under,
Well, she's got some questions here. Did you read the question? What
which one?
conditions would be necessary for 7? I could write, yeah, for 7.
Yeah, we just started talking about something.
what is this 48-inch DRCP? What does that mean? That was your question, right?
RCP is a.
Yeah, this is the, kind of the U-shaped connection. It kind of goes under the building today, and it actually, I think it connects these two wetlands. Remember we talked about this in the sidewalk?
Yeah.
Right, and it goes under the existing building, the existing on the driveway for sure. But then it loops back around, correct? Yeah,
So you're saying that drain pipe connects these two wetlands?
existing.
All right.
All right, so the work proposed here. Yeah, the riprap slope is gonna be going in. That's the biggest impact for this area to 7. Again, it's on the other side of the road.
Where, so water from all the field is going into here, right?
Is that a turf field? Is that
It's a turf.
It's a turf field, but we talked about this
it's got a
before.
drain system underneath?
Yes, it has another
It's
system.
draining this direction.
It does collect. See landscape plan for connections. You can see here. I forget what kind this is, pervious or impervious. Don't call, but I don't think it mattered. All right, so back to 7 now. Really, the only impacts here are the riprap. On the other side of the road, going to the beach. And there's no other work proposed suppose they're not sending anything over there that's not already going. Um, Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah. What type of slope we talking about here? Is 1 foot or 2 foot? Towards,
I started.
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Okay, I just, that's what I see this thing, I'll show you. Yeah,
it's 8 o'clock. Anything else about 7?
No.
Okay. All right, moving on to wetland 8. This is the low area that was historical fill back in 60s. All right, so existing wetland 8 is characterized by scrub shrub wetland, transitions into a forested wetland, vegetation associated with shrub wetlands. On site includes red maple, willow, high bush blueberry, speckled elder, sweet pepper bush, elderberry, dogwood, arrowwood, and more. Vegetation associated with the forested wetlands on site includes red maple, yellow birch, ash, American elm, gray birch, white pine, spice bush, high bush blueberry, and more. Upland consists of deciduous forests and athletic fields. Steep slopes are located within the northern and eastern portion of the buffer zone. The location of the DPW adjacent to the athletic field, the north side, is a result of the unauthorized wetland fill during the construction of the existing school that was to be removed under a previous order, M-105. Certificate of compliance was recently received, however, it did not verify the fill was ever removed. In addition, the eastern portion of the athletic field that is within the buffer to DPW was also to be cleared and filled beyond the original approval without proper notification to the commission. The athletic field has been extended by approximately 80 feet towards the Saugus River since the approved plan. So again, we're talking about low area. They have football practices down there. It runs into the softball field. The Saugus River, there is riverfront area down there in addition to the BVW. All right, so the work within buffer zone of wetland 8 includes proposed mitigation measures, including invasive species management and/or buffer zone planting. The area indicated for invasive species management includes the northern perimeter of the athletic field, which is currently filled, and a swath to the east indicated deciduous forest. Both of these areas have existing steep slopes.
The bar is just a little slight on the northern end of that.
Yeah, there's no work proposed in the buffer zone except for the invasive species management.
Yep.
Um,
It's existing.
right. Yeah,
No
it's,
new pervious, no.
yeah, it's quite low. Yeah, we did a site walk down there. I've actually been down there many times. Yeah, there's really no alteration down there. This is kind of one of those, does it even make sense to do invasive species management or not? Depends on what actually is occurring. You know, it is within a 200 riverfront area, 200-foot riverfront. But again, there's no work proposed except for invasive species management there. So, yeah.
Well, I think the idea was that that was supposed to be a mitigation thing. It's not just that it's not, it doesn't make it worse, but that it doesn't make an improvement such that. Yes, I think that's exactly.
Yeah, I mean, does it, you know, help with the protection of the interests? And certainly you can make the argument, invasive species management, you know, could.
Well, I think the concerns that we have with the, you know, some of the others is that it creates a danger to, creates a harmful condition to those particular wetlands, and this is not
Yeah,
mitigating that.
correct.
So I guess it doesn't move the needle on the areas where we have the most significant concerns. It does not address, it doesn't mitigate those most significant concerns.
Right.
And would that mean that it would not be used in its current, I mean, those are practice fields, right? Those are used as practice fields. Would that mean they would not be used as practice fields any longer? Would there be replanting?
Well, the softball team actually uses the other end of it as their actual playing field. And then football, I believe, practices in the area adjacent to where softball plays. Not in the same exact area, but a little further away. They're not obviously in the resource area. And yeah, they're probably practicing in the buffer. Part of it, maybe. But there's no proposed alteration to the resource area. Again, the Saugus River is right there. All right. You know, most of the wetland is actually off the property line. It's only down in that little corner that's actually on the property.
They're not going there.
No. I mean, there are some weird, when we did the sidewalk, there are some weird contours in there with the wetland. You know, likely some historical fill. Some of it didn't make sense. There's no work.
Walk it was pretty much a 5
Yeah. All right. All right, the last resource area is wetland 9. Wetland 9 is adjacent to the baseball field. It's below the current football field and adjacent to the baseball field.
We talked about those on the sidewalk.
That's right, where you come by the gates, right? Adjacent to the gates. gates.
Yeah, right to the left. As soon as you go through the guard check, it's on the left-hand side, down below.
So this is existing, proposed, so the proposed is along the edge of the field, right? And then the one drain line with the spreader, or, I don't remember exactly what the detail was. Which Rebecca requested to have it moved to the north, away from the wetlands, right? Or moved back, actually, away from the wetlands.
Yes,
Most of the limit of the work is on the existing field, except for that drainage structure that comes off.
Aren't they building something, big, aren't they building something big underneath the field?
yeah, there's gonna be, water treatment, Caltech chambers and such, and, under the baseball field, temporary.
So that's what's coming out of that structure, right? That huge drainage structure going under their base and shortstop, and then it's gone to that riprap head wall. Again.
Let me, actually, it's wetland 10 also. All right, so I'll read the existing conditions of wetland 9. Wetland 9 is primarily a forested red maple swamp associated with the intermittent stream that flows to the northwest. The stream originates from the upgradient culvert and follows a toe of slope along the western edge of the existing baseball field. Vegetation associated with forested wetlands on site include red maple, yellow birch, American elm, gray birch, white pine, spice bush, high bush, blueberry, and more. The work within the buffer zone of wetland 9 includes a portion of the underground stormwater management system, the discharge to a level spreader, clearing and grading. Some grading will direct overland flow to the head wall. I want to see the where that's collecting from. Do you have that?
I do, it is page C404.
You're getting pretty good at that.
All right. So this is collecting from Hemlock Road directly. Catch basin on either side of Hemlock. Catch basin up here.
This is all in the parking area.
Yeah, so most of the parking and the upper portion of Hemlock are going to this underground subsystem, subsurface. This has the isolator roll. But then this is all discharging to this wetland, which actually goes off-site. This wetland actually butts Wakefield High School.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, and it goes downhill onto the, right?
Yes.
That's interesting too. You think it'll discharge? That's very interesting.
Yeah, if you have the map up of that area,
The
you'll
color one,
see.
the aerial?
Yeah. So So this wetland looks like it's gonna be taking everything off the road. Okay,
So the blue is the wetland, right? Now, I think that spreader is a little bit pushed up.
and that wetland keeps going. Actually, that was better. Yeah, scroll up a bit.
On the property.
That red line is, I just not.
Right. No, but the discharge is gonna make its way all the way through there. And that's the football field. Yeah, that's that extra satellite lot. So we have a high school, that track, cross-country track goes right through here.
So the stormwater management, is that more a stormwater management issue? In other words, the point being that normally you don't design something to discharge onto the other guy's property.
Well,
Um,
it's directly going onto their own,
Well, I
but it's gonna
understand,
make its way into the wetland off their property.
but is that not the point of a drainage plan? That you, your water on your property?
That's the whole idea behind the culvert chambers. I think they shouldn't be discharging more than what was originally discharging from there. That was the whole deal behind going through this process of 50 different changes.
Right, they wouldn't be
They
potentially,
haven't.
Right.
yeah, they're not adding any volume or rate, but what they are doing is capturing everything off this driveway.
But that's where it would have gone. It would have gone eventually down to that discharge.
So now it's.
Well, some of it,
Change.
well, some of it's just running down the street,
Yeah.
right? Making its way to Farm Street now.
Right.
So it's all now gonna be concentrated through
Right,
the subsurface system and then discharge to the wetland,
right.
where right now it may not.
I
Be
think
as
it has to
concentrated.
go, because there was no, I think there was only that one discharge. Actually, was there any discharge points?
There was a level spreader already there, or a head wall already there.
So it's one,
It's on there.
Yeah.
I think their point was they're capturing it now,
Yeah.
they're sending it through rather than what it was doing before.
so, I mean, that was the whole concept.
Country is.
But they're adding these catch basins.
Yeah, so now.
So how was it getting there before? All of this wasn't getting there before. Where was it going?
They made, we don't have, do you have the plan showing the drainage areas? You must have that.
This is gonna be the highest salt content on the entire property in this area.
Yeah.
You know, coming up Farm Street, you know, Hemlock, into the parking lot areas.
Especially coming down Hemlock Road, come over the hill, you bring it down. But actually, that
Parking
goes
area
right
for
in.
students, and then that's where they would walk up the stairs or the boardwalk.
Right,
They're gonna
They'll be using,
solve that.
yeah, they'll be using,
Safety.
yeah, salt in this area.
Where would the boardwalk be?
From the parking area to the school, I don't know if we have a plan that shows that.
Oh, is this it right here?
Yeah, it's this. This is the boardwalk and then there's like stairs here.
In this dense tree, is this all gonna be? This is not what, this is where they're talking about cutting all that.
Yeah, this whole area, but non-jurisdictional. Yeah, I mean, my concern here is you're gonna get everything off the parking lot into that wetland. Now, it does have the isolated row and the chambers, but
They must have a drainage plan, how they're gonna capture it, right?
be treated?
Well, I mean, there is some treatment. You get the TSS removal and whatever binds to it. But you're not gonna get all the salt out.
Again, the discharge is right up against it, with limited buffer between the discharge and.
Where is the, okay, so the water is coming in from up here,
Yeah,
going that way.
yeah, these are all tied. These catch
All those are
basins
tied
are all
here,
tied.
Here, that all goes.
And then goes into the system.
Yeah,
And then out down that one.
isolate a row and then through here.
Yeah.
Invert is 77.
8:15, 8:21, yeah.
So how do we tie that back to the wetlands? Wasn't that Rebecca? brought
Yeah.
that up 3 times?
Yeah, you've got a discharge or a discharge.
This is right there.
Yeah,
Wait, a minute, you're saying it's not getting treated?
well, there is some treatment. You're getting your TSS removal and whatever binds to those suspended solids, but don't think gonna be building off all the,
There's a lot of
So-
roads that it's capturing.
yeah, all of this, all these catch basins.
I'm kind of depending on Bill for the, they've already gone through it.
Well, he's saying there's gonna be no increased rate or volume.
Right.
But he also caveated that with he's not at it in terms of
Environmental.
chemicals or.
Or salt.
But we have enough, clearly,
Um,
we have to prove that we're getting it back. So, well,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that difficult to do in that case. I don't know what the other possible mitigation would be.
Tell me, what did Rebecca request, the movement? What was her change?
She had this pulled a little bit away from the wetland itself.
Okay,
So wetland flags are right here. The wetland line is right here.
okay, so that's within,
And
it's like
it's,
15 feet.
it's backed off a bit,
Mhm.
20 scale.
Yeah.
20, I don't know, 20, 25 feet, whatever. Away from the line. She might be a note right here.
Which one are you looking at? Is it this one or the?
How far is this from?
This line?
The limited work line, yeah. West of 25 feet.
15 feet.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And there's a 10.
so. Number 3.
I want to confirm on 5, though. I want to understand that better.
Understand if it's jurisdiction.
Yes. I mean, there's a disconnect because, Rebecca was
He
still,
wrote a book on it, he should be able to tell you.
yeah, well, Rebecca, I just want to make sure that Rebecca has a chance to comment on it.
That's good.
Pardon?
I agree with that. Ready for Bob?
Nothing, I'm good.
So we move on to 10 then?
Yeah, we gotta do this. quick.
Yeah,
Well, we have 8:15. Go ahead.
all right. Okay, wetland 10 is the one that's right on the property line. All right, so wetland 10 is primarily characterized as a shrub wetland associated with an intermittent stream located within the adjacent right-of-way to the southeast of the existing. There you go. Southeast of the existing high school, vegetation associated with shrub on site typically includes red maple, willow, high bush, blueberry, specker, alder, sweet pepperbush, elderberry, dogwood, arrowwood, and others. The work within the buffer zone includes both temporary and permanent activities associated with construction of the access road, sidewalk, lighting, stormwater management system, which includes catch basins and pipes. Clearing and grubbing, including tree removal, will occur within the entire limit of work. Limit of work extends to 35 feet from the BVW. The side slope will be compost and seed over modified rock fill. Alterations of buffer zone. All right, so no work will occur within 25 feet of the BVW. 8,000 square feet of the buffer zone is within the limit of work. 4,000 square feet of new impervious area will be created in the buffer zone. And about 4,100 square feet of will be cleared for the activities listed above.
Can we just find the
Bob,
map?
where is this one on
Yeah.
site?
So this is across from the school, right before the parking lot. Let's see. What's the best way to describe this?
I want to find it on this map.
It straddles the town line. Way up
Oh,
here.
we're back down here.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. It's actually next to the certified vernal pool. It's to the side of that. Jurisdiction, jurisdiction. I think it's closest to the north. If you took the Breakout Road, don't go to the beach, go the other way. It would be on the right side, almost where the like water always crossing that road. Yeah, it's up over there.
It'll be on this page right here.
Lincoln and Stream up there,
Yeah,
off their property.
right,
Do we know where, can we see it on this thing right here?
right, it's noted. So the Breakout Road, you get the beach that way and you go this way. And it's there. This road kind of goes through here and the wetlands there.
Is this this Breakout Road right here?
Okay. Slope it down.
The road is in the buffer zone.
Here it is too.
Buffer, and then space in there, collecting some stuff away, and then that's just gonna be a big rip-rap slope. That one's right away, and most of it's gonna be rip-rap, and then some of it's gonna be that road's gonna come out, I think. That makes sense. Maybe 25 now.
So it's a linear work you're looking at. If you're looking at 25 feet, you're looking at not,
20 scale, right?
Yeah, 20 scale.
You're in the 10 scale.
I'm looking from the 25 foot to the,
You're on the 10 scale.
This is exactly where it is.
Yeah.
okay, so it's 50 feet.
Well, plus 25.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no work will occur within 25
It's
feet.
20, it's 20 feet plus, it's like 45 feet to the limit.
Yep. Can you scale it to 100?
Okay, so the road is about 65 feet away.
And no work will occur within 25 feet of the BVW.
I mean, within the 65 feet, there's most of that riprap, so.
Yeah. We get, we've lost some canopy issues here.
Well, this is the southern end.
Yeah, it's probably not, we're probably protected. If there's no work within 25 feet. Yeah, yeah, it's really, and it's on the other side.
Yeah.
A good direction.
And there's only a small piece of the wetland.
Yeah, the tiny little.
It's just a sliver, like a finger that goes up. It's like. Just looking at that little ledge. That's all over the place. Wish I looked at this. I'm just looking to see where the ledge is. Got to right now.
All right, so we covered all the resource areas. Potential impact, potential mitigation. We talked about the bank for the crossing. We talked about BVWs. Talked about the vernal pools. Talked about the riverfront area. And certainly spent a lot of time talking about buffer zones. All right, so kind of to summarize, series one, we talked about the loss of canopy and the impacts, talked about the blasting. Water uptake. And we talked about the Farm Street salts and stuff coming in into the driveway because of the drop in elevation. Series Series 3, spent a lot of time on that in both meetings. The box culvert, the stream crossing, the bank, canopy. 10 we just talked about. 6 and 7 we talked about tonight. Really not much happening there. 8 was really the corner near the riverfront area. Again, it was just invasive species management. Not sure who's not muted. Okay, Deborah, you're not muted. So yeah, again, Series 8 was the riverfront area, invasive species management, where it's really the only possible work happening there. 9 was the baseball field and subsurface stormwater system. Talked about concerns there for the wetland and the discharge to it from the catch basins. We didn't come up with a lot of mitigation ideas, sounds like.
What were the main concerns that were unresolved?
So 1, we had the loss of canopy.
Yeah, just the general, the efficiency of the buffer zone.
We had the blasting.
I think that's a bigger deal than really are anticipating. Not only have the deforestation on the road, the school is gonna be built, and I know it's out of our jurisdiction, but it's a huge area that's gonna have no trees.
True, 2,000 trees approximately, but again, it's not jurisdictional.
We're gonna have this small strip between the wetland and the road, and then it's gonna go into nothing.
But you have to tie the loss of those trees and that canopy in a non-jurisdictional area back to the impact on the wetland.
I don't know how to do that.
Exactly.
I do think there's an impact.
I mean, you have, again, 2,000 trees, 100 gallons per large oak.
They're talking about 2,000 trees to come out of there.
That's 200,000 gallons of water that potentially just throwing 100-foot,
Right.
whatever.
And that's how you're affecting the pool. They're picking up and holding and all the carbon they're sequestering. And no longer be captured.
Well, that does go to the sufficiency of the 100-foot buffer zone. I mean, there's a reason there's a 100-foot buffer zone. Because
Right.
It's in the regulations because of concern that there are certain circumstances where a larger buffer zone is needed. And I guess when there's 2,000 trees being taken around outside the 100-foot buffer zone, it puts more pressure on the 100-foot buffer zone. And I'm just saying that.
It does.
And in order to put it differently, that the significance of these, of wetlands 1 and 3.
Matt, is it reasonable to draw that connection?
Pardon me?
I think that's.
On the
I mean, there's definitely impacts around the individual. Can't deny that. Can't deny. it.
Right, but the non-jurisdictional
And
area.
I keep focusing on the fact that it's the southern end, the sun
Yeah,
comes
I'm saying
across the
that's
sky.
definitely, right? It's definitely.
Right, but to your point, that whatever, 2,000 trees around the school, that's not buffer, it's not a resource area, it's
Yeah, but
not
within-
jurisdictional.
But if you look at the number of trees in the 100-foot buffer zone, your point is well taken, that these are wetlands that are used to having, if there's 500 trees around that are gonna be taken down around, within 100 feet of the buffer zone.
We have to draw that line.
Yeah.
We have to draw that line.
Well, it goes to the point that if you're saying that 2,000 trees, a lot of those are within the 100-foot buffer zone.
No, most of those are non-jurisdictional.
Well, there's gonna be a lot, right? There's gonna be
Yeah.
a lot.
There's gonna be a lot.
We just gained.
Either way, under
To affect it,
general
right?
provisions, the last sentence of the first paragraph, the purpose of pre-construction review of work in the buffer zone is to ensure that adjacent resource areas are not adversely affected during or after completion of the work.
But the majority of the work is not even in the buffer zone. It's not jurisdictional. So we got to keep that distinction.
I
The
know,
school
but
itself,
looking at, well, let's take wetland number one, wetland number one is the biggest wetland.
yes.
And the buffer, there's less than a 25-foot buffer zone across a lot of that. And within that, I question whether some of the trees, when they're building, given where the extent of the work they're doing, whether, how many trees, how many mature trees in that 15 or 25 or 20 feet are really gonna survive this? And are gonna be left standing.
Well, most of those will be gone.
Well, that's right.
In
Potentially all of them.
series one, we've already talked about canopy loss in series one being an issue.
But you're also, if you're removing them, you're removing the root system
Yes.
underneath, which is holding everything else in adjacent areas together as well.
There are some trees, in series three, wetland that got added, remember that 15,000 square feet?
Right, but they're not going to be mature trees.
No, but they're not gonna get
That's right.
fully forested
That's
either.
right.
'cause
But they're also on the
gonna
north side of the
stay.
wetland, where they're not quite as valuable as the southern exposure of the wetland.
Trees will be planted too.
True, but we don't.
But again, they're not going to be mature trees replacing immediately what's being taken out. Eventually they will.
They still want to want.
Yeah,
There's no comparison, sapling and
correct.
tree.
So again, we're series one, series three, canopy losses. Yeah,
I think that's huge.
yeah, agreed. The blasting, I think could be certainly an issue down there at series one. I know Bill is saying no increase in rate or runoff and the water budgets will remain the same, but, with all those trees coming out during construction, there's certainly risk, for sure during construction. The first thing that happens, you take the trees down, right? Then you blast. You get your access road going in. Construction is always the most things obviously can go wrong. There's a lot that could certainly go wrong, right?
Can we talk about how long blasting takes? Is it talking months or is it talking weeks, days?
It's hard to say because you don't actually know what's going to be blasted for sure and how much, will need to be coming out. I don't know the duration necessarily is a factor.
Then we discussed those hard to prove that blasting would affect the wetlands.
Yeah,
One of our conclusions were it may, if it,
right. It could open up.
that was our conclusion with that.
It could result in fractures or,
What hasn't been resolved is if they do, the geological report was talking about there being water and needing pumps. So if that is the case, I don't know, do we know where that water's gonna go?
during construction.
Yeah.
There are temporary
Yeah.
ponding areas.
That are gonna take a continuous flow of water?
It's an Olympic-sized swimming pool.
Yeah.
Eleanor wrote.
I don't remember talking about that.
Yeah.
Really swift, right?
Yeah.
Construction, temporary construction, water.
Yeah, Bill was satisfied with the,
Now, what happens?
with that.
What happens when you transfer over to, final grading and all that, but where's the water go then? Well, you're gonna have a steady flow anyway. You're trying to de-water so you can build, but once it's all built, the water's gotta go somewhere.
Well, think about it, it's groundwater, right? When you go below it to build something, it's now available and you gotta pump it out.
Yeah.
But then in the permanent, that's already filled up in the road.
Yeah,
the groundwater affected by the new road.
I'm saying that the water that's flowing through the rocks is still gonna come down through the rocks. And when it gets to the parking lot level, where does it go?
Is it at the parking lot level now?
Well, it will be when you're done.
They're gonna be at a lower elevation than what it is. Final grades are gonna be lower
It
than,
doesn't matter if it's lower or higher, on the water coming.
yeah, but if you're at a lower grade than this. Future grade. At or above the density.
Okay, I'm not explaining myself. I think,
I'm not rebutting.
no, I know, but I'm just trying, I'm maybe I'm not coming across right, but.
Because I think, well, correct me if I'm wrong with the blast and stuff, the dewatering, were they talking about a temporary condition
Yeah,
to
because they
do
want,
something, or were they talking about permanent?
There is temporary,
there is temporary dewatering that, because it has to be watered so that. But what I'm saying, and it may be no big deal anyways, but I'm saying that the water has to go somewhere when they're done. And when that system's not available anymore, because that grade is done, they must have, I wonder if they, maybe they've accounted for it, I don't know, maybe they account for whatever water's coming off the cliff.
some of the stuff coming off the edge of the cliff is going into 7 with that 6-inch pipe.
If anything, it's water.
That particular area is, yes.
So, just a matter of when, just make sure the system handles it. That they've accounted for it.
Yeah, 6 and 7, I mean, we talked about it, it sounds like we were good with those. Again, we were good with the 8. It sounds like our concerns are 1, 3, and 9.
And now we're assuming that 5 is, that assumes that 5 is non-jurisdictional. I want to confirm that, because Rebecca was talking as if it was.
I think,
Well, yeah, the vernal pool,
Do you agree that it's not state jurisdictional?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know why Rebecca, I just want Rebecca to have a chance to comment why we had.
well, wait a minute, we're talking,
who did the measurements to determine that? I think we agreed on it as part of our.
Agreed on your ORAD a couple of
Yeah.
years ago.
We agreed on that.
We said that.
right.
That's how they determined it. I mean,
Well, the certified, we did talk about the certified vernal pool with the guardrail and stuff getting dumped over the edge.
Yeah.
That was the other thing, so really it was 1, 3,
No, then we concluded that it was not jurisdictional.
yeah.
did we? The certified vernal pool, that's all going into it?
And that's because of the federal decision that came down this week.
Right, but the state still protects it.
It's not a state jurisdictional.
But a decision that came out within this week.
The Massachusetts water, wetland protection. It doesn't affect the Massachusetts.
And so if it's not a state jurisdictional wetland, it's not the Conservation Commission's.
So the vernal pool is out.
And again, prior to the decision, there was a section, the 401 of water quality, the federal standard is implemented by the, so there's a state concern there, and that's why certified vernal pools have a status as an
Wouldn't we be
outstanding
going
resource.
by the rulings from when we started this and not any changes that happened during the process?
I don't think so.
Because they're operating on maps that they pulled before we
part of this process
But it
that
doesn't,
have changed.
they were operating on Massachusetts regs and maps. You change regs, doesn't apply to the Massachusetts. In this instance, you're right, 401, it affects it in 404, not the Wetlands Protection Act in Massachusetts.
Right. And the problem is that the jurisdiction at the state level for certified vernal pools evaporated with that federal decision.
No pun intended.
I mean, there's no uncharted, you know, it's like that a decision like that is, you know, is rocking a lot of.
And that goes into effect immediately. Things that are in progress at that moment.
Yeah, because you haven't permitted this yet. Or denied it, or you don't have a decision yet, so. So,
It wasn't a change in regs, it was a determination by the court. So,
On how to read, right?
yeah.
yeah, how to apply,
How to apply it.
yeah.
Apply it,
All right, so based on that, the certified vernal pool is off the table. All right, so again, we're back to 1, 3, and 9 as areas that we've expressed the most concern. You know, three again was a storm crossing, stream crossing. And the canopy loss around that one.
So 852, Bob.
Yep.
That's a hard stop.
Yep.
Well,
I don't know if we're voting on this right now.
I still think, we talked about the salting and all that stuff, the chloride stuff, and I still believe that
Yeah,
that is an issue.
Series 1, for sure.
One,
Yeah, coming right off of Farm Street.
I think there needs to be a monitoring program, a simple program that's gonna alert us to anything that happens out there. And give us a jump start on trying to correct whatever happens before it.
I'm establishing a
Would it not be
baseline.
too late at that point though?
Pardon?
Would it not be too late?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. If we saw it, if we saw that maybe that goes into how we develop a plan, but maybe when you start out, you go put a couple extra tests in to see if it's climbing, and then you could let it go for like 6 months or a year, another test.
There's been no agreement to monitoring.
What?
There's been no agreement to any type of monitoring.
Well,
And even if there was.
I don't think that matters. I think you can condition
Could, potentially.
it. But I mean, and the thing that's different about that is it's a small wetland. It doesn't have a big volume. It doesn't have much way that it's gonna process the salt that's gonna be coming in without doing some damage. So I see it as, something, I really think we have to not allow, salting. Period.
Yeah. And really anywhere on the site.
Right.
When you get right down to it, because I think Series 9 is going to be an issue.
Yeah.
We know the price per ton, $650 versus,
Maybe there's something else.
that would be probably considered unreasonable condition.
But you know, I disagree with the DOT standards that they have, because their standards are set up for huge reservoirs and,
Right.
you know,
That could absorb
yeah.
and handle that type of load.
Right. And they're usually areas that they're testing a half a mile away from the source of the pollution. And that's not what we have.
I agree.
We need a system designed for what we have. It's a small area that should not take that much, more consideration than to protect those areas.
All right, we're running out of time.
Can I bring us back to the
Sure.
beginning, the very first part, which activities affecting areas subject to protection are to be regulated in order to contribute to the following interests: protection of public and private water supply, protection of groundwater supply, flood control, storm damage prevention, prevention of pollution, protection of landscape, shellfish, not necessarily applied, but presumably protection of fisheries, same thing, protection of wildlife habitat. So all of this needs to contribute to the protections of all of those things, the livability, all of those things.
What did I do next?
So we have 5 minutes and we're gonna move one way or another here, so I can ask for a motion to approve the project.
So we can't really discuss another meeting.
We're out of time. This decision has to be,
Made.
conditions are, it has to be in the mail. It's due next Tuesday, I believe. It's 21 days. And Rebecca needs time to write up whatever happens next. Yes. Now, obviously, no matter what happens, whatever we decide now, it's going to be appealed. It's a given. Which, sometimes DEP throws it back in your hands, or sometimes you lose total control of the project, whatever. But I think it's safe to assume that no matter which way we go here, it's going to be appealed.
But no matter which way we go, whatever we submit is the basis of the foundation of whatever happens.
Next.
To the next step too.
Yeah.
So procedurally, what happens? There will be a motion to approve the project.
Or, yeah, and see what happens there, and if that happens there, then there's a motion to deny the project, see what happens there. One of those two things has to occur, because we don't have time to,
Okay, so we have.
there's no option 3.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no third option. You gotta be ready, one way or another. Let's see. I'm not gonna get into the whole flow chart of the appeals process, and how that all ends up in a
Just a couple.
a hearing and everything else and all that.
Rest and all not gonna vote since they're not at this particular meeting.
Correct.
That's right.
So the vote would be 5 of us. Which is still a quorum, obviously. All right, so I got 58, so I'm gonna have to call it here. Is there a motion to approve the project?
I'm not ready to do.
Well, we have to, Jim. I mean, that's just the point that we have a timeline. We can't have we don't have time for another meeting, do we?
We're gonna get thrown out in a few minutes. And it can't go any longer, because again, the timeline we're up against is Tuesday, a week from today. Whatever happens has to be written up and submitted.
Well, we don't have a motion, so.
All right, so no motion to approve. Is there a motion to deny the project?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
No way in that now. I can't do it.
We have a motion.
You can
It's
vote
been
yes.
seconded. We're voting. Haley, how do you vote?
I vote in favor of denying.
Ken? Jim?
I vote in favor of the motion to deny.
Jim? I will also vote in favor of the motion to deny. All right. So the hard part's not over. This still work to be done.
Okay, so when do we have to do, what's our, procedurally, when's our next meeting?
we have to sign anything tonight, Bob?
No, no.
Well, Rex has something to sign, but is that only for conditions?
That was for another project, I believe,
Oh, well.
on her desk. I think she left some paperwork.
No, it was on top of this, so I brought it out. So it's probably under that top page at this point.
Not yet. She wants to sign off on. We had a few other projects that we approved last 2 meetings ago. It may have been for that, so.
Yeah.
All right, so at 9 o'clock, they're about to throw us out of here. Is there a motion to adjourn? Favor, Haley,
So you got both motions.
Ken, Kim,
Yeah.
Peter,
Yes.
I also vote yes to adjourn.
Is that it?
This doesn't say what it's for, but I
Yeah.
would assume it's